Hello. Welcome back. It feels like it's been a month. That's just because I'm exhausted. Uh, um, we have announcements. I will deal with them later. I'm not going to do that right now. I've made an executive decision. Um, but Trinity Continuum, I guess, is on Backer Kit. I'll throw the link in the chat later. I'm so tired, guys. But regardless, we're here for Witcher things. So let's do Witcher things. Let's go ahead and meet our crew.
Hi, I'm Luna, or Druid by Night, whichever you prefer. And today I will be playing the mage Cersei Aveline.
Hello, everybody. I am the Azure Butterfly, Azure for short, simply Rachel, Fae Butterfly on the internet. You can find me over at theazurebutterfly.ttv on most days, and the Azure Butter One on social media. I'm playing Ingrid of Sintra, the Bear Witcher.
I'm sure today will go swimmingly. So, it feels like a month, so let's go ahead and jump into the recap for Witcher Ways of Old. Ingrid, do you have something for us?
Shopping episode part 2 happened. um, with Cersei and Ingrid now in command control of a brand new wagon, and having woken up from uh, quite the evening. Although Ingrid and Cersei did not imbibe enough to uh, really have the after effects of that. So I'm not that is what happened, right? Like we woke up that morning first, right? Okay. Um I swear I'm good at this. I'm good at this job. But yes. Um we had a little Cersei and Ingrid decided to sleep in a little bit, then got a little breakfast, and then went over to wow. Oh my goodness, my brain's blanking. I think my brain wants to tell me that we went straight to Thaland after that to check on them, but I believe we did something else first. It was a spell?
Yes, I felt a scry being done on me, and I realized it was Triss. So then I scryed on her to make sure that she was okay. But before I could do that, we had to we had to go shopping for all the ingredients, which included waking Thaland up for a pearl.
Right. That's how that started. I am so sorry. The lore keeper forgot that one little that for some reason my brain thought that happened during the caravan ride. I don't know why. Um but yeah, so that happened. Um and if I remember correctly, you were able to see that that Triss was okay as well, but dealing with a very injured. Um, why does I need to have notes in front of me whenever
Vesemir.
Vesemir. See, I'm such a fake fan. ADHD. Um, dealing with very injured Vesemir, but at least he was alive. Uh, and we got after the spell was done, after all the scrying was done, um, breakfast was had. Thaland and crew had they had a pretty shitty sales day, if I like in the morning, if I remember correctly, outside of us buying a couple more things. And then we just decided to hit the road at that point. Got started on a long journey to what was the name one more time?
Course Valen.
Gor's Valen, yes, which is the settlement just outside of the island of Thaned, where Aretusa lay. Um, I need to not get distracted by chat.
They're
um,
popping off today. Y'all are doing great. I love you guys.
I am like shaking right now. I don't know why. I am like super anxious and nervous about this. I am like I need to actually have like better notes in front of me. I watched the episode again earlier in the day and I'm like, I got this. Watch, I'm not gonna forget a damn thing. Um but along the way, Cersei and well, Ingrid was driving for the most part their new wagon, while Cersei was attending to the organization of the, uh, the stuff in the wagon. How we you did some of it good, and then just stopped after a little bit, right?
Yes,
Yes,
it's functional.
it's functional. It's functional, but it's not pretty yet. Um, and then as we got to, was it one night or was it just no, it was just, you said it was just going to be over the course of several nights. Whenever we stopped, Thaland was coming over and looking through our shit.
Essentially, yes. You guys had 2 week time frame of getting there, and you guys made some progress and in upgrading your wagon, and
We
as well
got
made some more sales to kind of offset the cost of that.
I have the book up. Remember we got
A hidden
the
compartment and spiked
compartment.
wheels.
Oh, we didn't get the. I thought we got the. I thought they had this like the steel ones or like
Sorry,
the.
steel wheels. Apologies.
Yeah. I was like, we went for strength there.
I like it.
Correct. And also, Luna being the great businesswoman in as Cersei, got us a crap ton of crown. Um, and I may or may not have sold Witcher secrets for a workshop in the back of our wagon that may need to deal with. Well, Ingrid doesn't know the consequences of what just happened, so there's that. Only Asher does, and it gave me a nightmare.
And that is essentially where we had left off after you guys had made some sales. Cersei,
I learned a spell.
you've learned a spell. What
Oh,
spell is
you
that?
did.
Ball lightning.
Oh, right. You have the fuck it we ball ability now.
Exactly.
I cast fuck it we ball.
I made that joke that day and nobody laughed.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, I don't remember hearing
I
that.
don't remember that at all, but that is an hilarious joke. You deserve the laughs.
Don't gaslight gatekeep girl boss me like this.
God. All right.
Okay, this is just also telling me that I need to make sure I'm keeping notes properly next time. I'm so sorry.
All good. All good. That is where we pick up. We last caught our heroes. Had seen the city of Gorsfallen, surrounded by walls bristling with towers and glistening painted roofs. Beyond the city, the green sea, ever expansive and sparkling in the morning sun, flecked here and there with white sails. You are only moments away, and the scene is yours.
Are you up front with me at this point, Cersei, or are you in the back still?
I'm in the back getting ready.
She's going to. It's kind of just open, right? It's kind of just a flap that's separating myself from Cersei, or is there an actual like wall on this
You guys
one?
have doors essentially.
Oh,
So there is a. It's not exactly a full closed door, but there is an opening. Think Oregon Trail wagon is the best I can describe it. The back will have two small. You can kind of like peek out. If you're sitting, your shoulders would be covered. You can see heads. Tiny walls, tiny doors, half doors basically. If that
okay.
makes sense.
As this the settlement is Gors Valen like just a small settlement or an actual big city?
It
Do we know?
is. It is a port city, so it is relatively large. Yes.
Okay. And you can obviously see Aretusa from like that distance too.
Oh yes. Absolutely. It's from the vantage point you guys are at now. Yes, it looks like it would be part of the mainland, but it is not. Um, but yes, you can see Artus from there.
I'm picturing because I'm kind of like picturing it like seeing like the castle behind the village, but in this case it's Aretusa. Um, as that creeps up the horizon, Ingrid is going to do a really rapid on the door that leads back into the wagon, and she's going to lean back and say, "Cersei, uh, we're almost here."
Um, Cersei doesn't say anything. She just finishes up, and after a moment, comes out to sit next to you.
Must be exciting. You're almost home.
Yeah, yeah, exciting. Exciting's a word for it.
Are you all right?
I'm fine.
Quite. I mean, to be perfectly fair, it was when Bear Keep was still Bear Keep. It was always a hit or miss going back home. I just assumed you had quite happy memories here.
Hmm. Sure.
Ingrid being blissfully unaware of how Aretusa works. Um, yeah, she's gonna continue riding along. Is there anything that I should be aware of before we get there? Anything I shouldn't say, shouldn't do?
Um, don't expect a whole lot of empathy, and just be polite. But that shouldn't be an issue for you.
I would like you to make a roll, Cersei.
Okay.
First roll of the
Let's.
night.
Uh, well, first, I'd like to. I'm curious of how much time you spent in Gorsvalen after you were free to roam the city.
Probably would have been the first place she set up shop with help from her mentor.
Excellent. That changes things a bit. I like it. Um, so
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing coming
I
from you when you say you'd like it.
intelligence business, or let's see, intelligence business or intelligence education. Your choice.
There's a same. Not great. 18.
19. Not too terrible, and not too difficult of a role. Having set up shop there, being your first location for the what was the original name of your shop? Wasn't the Fox? And it was
Oh,
the
the
Fox
fox
and
is
Jaunt.
Jaunt. Yeah.
Excellent, love that. You would know that between the first and the second Nilfgaardian War, King Foltest of Temeria had set up a new law essentially in Gorsfellen, um, blocking all merchandise routes with inspection points. So, likely before you guys reach the city itself, there will be an inspection point. This is simply to seize Redanian and Nilfgaardian goods that to be sold in the city. So this will certainly affect Thalen's merchandise. You may
That sucks for
choose
him.
to mention it or not. Entirely up to you.
Um, she'll after a little bit, she'll reminisce on old memories and then just be like, "Oh yeah, that one's gonna have a hard time here."
Should should you tell him? Should you let him know?
Sure.
all in good time when we stop. That being said, this is your homecoming as well. And I know we have been on the road for quite some time. Before we go, I have a suggestion. In Gors Velen, why don't we find a bathhouse first and get ourselves cleaned up?
Oh, of course. Good idea.
I am, with your description of things, I am expecting it's not too dissimilar from my experience with dealing with nobility in general.
Except somehow, sometimes worse.
I do not know how that would be possible. But yes, I believe that might be a good idea then. Make a good impression, and I don't want to embarrass you.
No, you couldn't embarrass me if you tried.
I could definitely embarrass you.
Yeah, you could, but it's fine.
So, you can use here.
Is Bindi okay?
Bindy's
Is
just
Bindi okay?
yeah.
Is she scratching at the door?
She's digging into the couch.
Like you
Oh,
do.
So you guys make your way. When do you tell Thaland about the law that will cause him issue?
I'll do I feel like Cersei will um use telepathy to have this conversation.
amazing.
Using your focus, no doubt.
Absolutely. Always, every time.
Excellent. What do you say?
So she grabs her focus and kind of starts looking up, just like as if she's daydreaming. And he hears whispers coming from all sides until finally they clear and he hears Cersei say, "So about this city, there's a checkpoint where they seize Nilfgaardian and Redanian goods. I'd imagine. I figured I'd tell you."
Tell him that we could hide it in our new secret compartment if he needs it. You don't have to.
As a reply, just, good to know. We'll need to make a stop before we hit a checkpoint. I don't know if we'll be able to squeeze everything in ours. We'll make it work. Thank you.
Of course.
So you journey. The moment you guys crest over a hill and gain sight of a checkpoint, the wagons come to a stop. Thaland and his family begin to shift things in the wagons. You can see movement. They shake every once in a while. They're moving things around. Do you wait for them?
It seems to be the most polite thing to do, considering
Yeah.
everything. Do we have anything that's Redanian or?
Not that I know.
You, I believe, should be spared of any such merchandise.
Contraband.
Contraband.
Oh my god, hide the weed.
Is there anything
A
that you
wizard's
do hide
nest.
in your hidden compartment?
I'll go ahead and stash I'll stash about half of our gold.
Understood. How much would that be? Just out of curiosity.
We had like what, over $4,000, right? As lore keeper,
2,028 crowns.
Understood. So about half that's going in the pin compartment.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Uh, I don't think so.
Nothing that
I'm
I
I'm
can
looking
think of.
I'm looking over my shit because I know that Ramos is going to be looking at sheets for this.
The bombs.
The bombs.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to hide all the vampire shit just to be safe. People might look weird at us if I just they see the heart.
Understood. Understood. You do this.
My armor's not Nilfgaardian, right? No, it's what crap? What was the make of my armor?
Galaga, yeah.
Skellig, yeah, it's Skellig.
Mm-hmm. With some nifty upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
Along the way, as well, I'm not sure if we got to this. You were given some. Before you guys lift off, you guys were given some. You were given some mundane enhancements on your armor, as well. A man of his word, Thaland took the time to upgrade your armor after having been paid already in the city after the trade had been taken care of. Let me get you those glyphs so you can make the proper notes for your armor.
Oh my goodness, notes. All right.
Excellent. Your sorry, this was for your weaponry, I think.
Got you,
The
got you.
runes, right? Correct.
And
Your mhm.
I currently have Aaron's Ursine Steel Sword, which has 2 enhancement slots, and I also have Nyoka's Serpentine Silver Sword, which has 2 enhancement slots.
Excellent. Um, you have to your choice. Where would you want these applied, or would you like to hear about them first?
Let me hear about them first because I'm gonna min-max the shit.
Okay. Chernobog is a rune that rolling 1d6 when your weapon would take damage. On a 4, 5, or 6, the weapon takes no damage. So using when you're parrying or blocking with the sword itself, rather than have the weapon reliability decrease, um, it would you have a possibility of having to deal with any of that.
Considering I say this, but it's like very situational that I need to parry with a silver sword, I'd say. I'm probably gonna go ahead and put that on my steel sword, especially given the Nilfgaardian shit going down.
Excellent.
Where do I note that on weapons?
I'm not sure there is a slot for it on your weapons on the sheet.
Lame.
Let me check.
If anything, I'll just note it on non-carried items.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a spot for it on the sheet. Um, However, you could throw it into your own.
Oh Jesus, that scared me.
Yeah, you could throw it into non-carry items or tools. Your choice, and I'll figure out a way to throw it into the.
And tools. How do you spell Chernobog?
Spelled CHE. Let's say. Oh, I'm sorry, Chemabog. My bad. CHEMOBOG. My sight will be going before my hearing. How strange.
All right. I'll just leave it blank for now, and I can worry about putting in descriptive because it's basically just. Actually, sorry. Just tell me one more time what it does.
Roll 1d6 when your weapon would take damage. On a roll of 4, 5, or 6, the weapon takes no damage.
On 4, 5, or 6, you said.
Correct.
All right. And that's on steel sword. All right. What's
The next is the would be called wow, I'm gonna butcher these names. Svarog, which applies the armor piercing effect to the weapon.
goddamn? Both of these are gonna go right on the steel sword. This is just way too perfect. Yeah.
Excellent.
Spell it for me, please.
Svarog.
And it says armor piercing.
Indeed.
Sweet.
There is one particular glyph that that Thalen knows. I believe we had discussed this. I'd have to look back at the VOD. But that would be applicable more to you, Cersei.
Oh,
The glyph of magic.
what does it do?
When wearing this armor, either your spell DC is raised by 3 or your spell damage is increased by 1d6. This applies only to mixed element spells.
Mixed
Whoa.
element spells?
Hmm.
That doesn't count for signs, does it?
Yeah, I don't believe it counts for signs, because the signs,
Gotcha.
I believe, aren't separated into elements.
Which they have elements, which is weird.
Let me double check that though, because I may be wrong. So
Because Igni's fire elemental, Ard is wind elemental.
Oh, they are separated into signs. So yeah, no, this could help you too.
I assume it
Well.
would cost more if we both got it.
It would.
How much?
You
How
guys
much we talking?
prepaid. You guys prepaid essentially for two of the runes for your sword. So essentially, you'd be paying for 2 of the glyphs as well, which would be
$5? The cost of McDouble?
this will be. Oh, math is hard. Jumping episode part 3.
Can't escape it.
1,150 crown.
Ooh. How would you like some more Witcher secrets? I'm kidding.
Hmm.
I'll forgo it. It's not super vital to me. And I highly doubt this will be the last opportunity to get something like this.
Understood. Let me make sure as well. Your armor, because you need in order to
Have it engraved.
yes, thank you. In order to have it engraved, you need an open enhancement slot on your armor. Let's make sure that your armor does indeed have an open enhancement slot. You are.
It's technically.
Mhm.
I was going to say it's technically a cape. From a lore perspective, I'm thinking of kind of like in Lord of the Rings, how the hobbits had their little capes that had the little leaves of Lorien things. I'm thinking it's some brooches. It's something like that.
So you are using the Dwarven cloak. You have variation for enhancement slots.
It should be
Its value. AE. Okay, perfect. So you actually have, with the Dwarven Cloak, you have one enhancement slot.
oh, perfect.
Wow.
So this would take that up if you would like it and you're willing to pay for it.
What's the cost of one?
$575.
$575?
Oh, I'll do it.
Go ahead and deduct your deduct the cost from your crown. And I am interested
In destroying more of our inventory stock.
I am interested. It doesn't say that you need to choose, like, permanently. When wearing this armor,
like
either
it
your
once
spell
it's
DC
like
is raised by 3 or your spell damage is increased by 1d6. So,
maybe it's something you have to choose at the start of battle.
that's interesting.
Or it's both. And I just pick one.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
I'm gonna say you need to choose now. I'm gonna say you need to choose one. And that'll be the static effect of it. Having it swap over seems counterproductive to what I think they're trying to do here.
That's fair.
Let me look at something.
By all means, take your time.
What are both of the effects?
Either raising the spell DCs by 3 or damage by 1d6. We are actually going to cut to a very early break as I need to feed my pupper. Welcome back. Sorry for the delay. I need to feed pupper and myself. Now, while I was away doing that, a general consensus was reached. Sorry, would you care to just share your findings?
Well, I dug through my notes and realized that there are damaging mixed element spells, I either missed them or they're not there.
Leading you to draw
So-
what conclusion?
Yeah, what is the
glyph
conclusion?
is ass.
The glyph is ass. So, retroactively, we're going to rescind that purchase.
I feel like he's a con man for selling that glyph.
Mixed element spells.
It's like that snake oil salesman. It's just like, yeah, any mixed element spells you want to do, you got it.
Excellent. No doubt he will try to sell this off in Aretusa. There are young novices there still going, ooh, and ah.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. But your guys' purchase have been made. Thallon is completely moved his stock into, well, the contraband stock into the hidden compartments along the 3 wagons. He does come to you with a sack and says kind of like, would you happen to have any space in your newly built hidden compartment, or have you filled that already, if you don't mind me asking?
It's in a sack.
I think the whole purpose of being in a sack is to not draw attention to it. Don't you agree?
It's gonna be it's gonna be hiding in our wagon. We gotta know what's in it.
In a well-crafted hidden compartment.
It's gonna be hiding in our wagon. We gotta know what's in it.
All right, we're gonna be like this. All right, fantastic. 2 weeks on the road, and he goes back over to one of his wagons and begins to disperse things.
Hey, I'm all for helping friends, but I gotta know what I'm.
That was a shady ass plot seed.
That was a shady ass little. Now Ingrid is starting to feel a little. Maybe I shouldn't have been too keen to sell him Witcher freaking.
Excellent. You deny Fallon the access to your hidden compartment, leaving your hidden compartment fully updated in yours. You travel.
What's in the bag, Ramos?
You reach a checkpoint. The DC. What is the DC of finding your hidden compartment?
I don't know. Let me look that up. What page would that be on?
It is in Serial's wagon, the same place where you got found the wagon upgrades. So it should be on that snippet you took.
Oh yeah, it is on that snippet. I just gotta find it.
I'll tell you right now, it doesn't matter. The first time I rolled a new die for this game, and it's a 1, so outstanding.
Oh, the DC, for future reference, DC is a 16 on an awareness check.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. You guys passed through the checkpoint uninhibited. However, there are 3 other wagons. That is a second one. What is happening? Cersei, what did you do?
I didn't do shit.
That is a third one. What did you do?
That wasn't me.
Why are you blaming Cersei?
That was a 3. Guess who bought me the dice?
Oh.
I didn't do shit.
Luna, did you hex his dice?
Why would
I'm so
I
proud
do
of
that?
you. I'm so proud of you.
Why would I do that?
It's Dark Souls. It's
Interesting.
just Dark Souls.
All 4
It's Dark
wagons
Rolls.
pass through
Laugh at my pun.
uninhibited.
Laugh at my pun. It's Dark Rolls.
I liked it.
Oh
It
my
was
god.
good. You guys make your way through the 35-foot wall of stone and unfired brick that leads into Gorsfallon. The city is open to you. It is yours. What would you like to do?
Bathhouse?
What would you like to do?
Is there any place that you would like to stop by first? This is your stomping grounds. I have never actually been here myself.
I haven't been here in a long time. Well, feels like a long time. I don't know what's changed.
We could always look around. Would you like to go to the bathhouse first?
Sure.
From the judgment of it, Cersei, it doesn't look like much has changed. You can see the Giancardi Bank is still open and operating, moving the city's money through. You can see the Unlaced Corset seems to be doing quite well. I will not be elaborating on what establishment that is because I think it should be obvious.
I have an idea and I love the name of that. That's a really cool name.
The marketplace is still relatively bustling. It's not in its peak just yet. As well, you can see the familiar signs of the Silver Heron and the Saffron and Pepper, 2 taverns that are in a, we'll call it, friendly competition with one another.
As we're riding through, she'll point things out and be like, you know what? No, not a lot has changed actually.
Interesting. When was the last time that you were here?
Oh gosh, 15 years ago?
Oh my. That would have been just before you came to Sintra, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I have to admit I am very excited. She's saying as we're driving the wagon towards whatever. I assume you know a bathhouse location that we could use
Yeah.
at this place. She's going to be following Cersei's directions on it. She's going to say, "Oh no, is my brain gonna do this to me?" I forgot what I was going to say because I went into explanation beforehand. Never mind.
Best place to get a bath, procure a bath, will be the Silver Heron.
Well, go there.
You guys make your way. Now, is the intention a room?
How long does Dallin want to stay here for?
Oh, Thalen's looking at the city with whole new eyes and a whole new opportunity. Having made his way into the city, you can see he's watching everything very carefully. There is one particular portion in the fish market he might be interested in, Cersei, called the Thieves' Bastion, a large tower where some less than on the up deals take place.
Well, the question is, we came with him to move as a group to get to Aretusa. Did we want to continue on with them after the fact, or just
That's what I
part
was
ways?
thinking. We can go on ahead without him.
He has outlived his usefulness. I'm saying that as Azure, not as Ingrid. Um, yes, that is probably a good idea. Is there accommodations for us in Aretusa itself, or will we need to get a place?
That remains to be seen.
I am willing to wait as needed. That being said, you have all our money now, so it is entirely up to you.
We'll see.
Let us get just a bath then.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna go in.
Excellent. So you let Thalen know that you'll catch up with him later, and that you will
Yes.
be moving on ahead.
Yep.
Excellent. Agrees that he will make his way to Artusa later in the day, perhaps in the evening, after sales have dwindled. But right now, there's a full opportunity, and they're going to set up some shop.
Fair enough. Good luck.
And to you as well. We will.
Thank you for the armor and the upgrades.
Oh, it was my absolute pleasure, and thank you for everything on your part.
I need to speak with you, really quick. Thailand. How many ears are around us in this particular moment?
You can see Thalen's brother kind of leans in as well.
Thalen's brother was there when I sold the Witcher secret,
Yeah,
right?
his whole
The beast
family was.
oil. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Wild.
Which consists of Thalen, his brother, and his wife.
That recipe that I gave to you?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, nothing's changed. That is yours to do with as you please, but a warning that is very potent. Be careful who you sell it to, or who you use it, or who you tell it to. There's a reason that it's usually kept with the Witchers. I don't believe you intend much harm, but a lot of harm can be had. Ingrid is completely cool with everything that she's saying, and I'm trying to keep to her because Azure's thinking all this, and I'm just thinking that he's thinking cha-ching.
Give me
But yeah,
Give me an empathy persuasion check.
okay. Empathy is 7, persuasion is 2, so it's 9 plus 16.
Make a case. And looks and nods.
I'm putting my trust in you.
And I couldn't be more honored. I couldn't be more. Truly honored is the only word. And I can assure you that this particular recipe that you've granted me, I will be very careful who I sell this to. And, of course, for at which price.
Make it exorbitantly expensive. It is a one of a kind, after all.
Absolutely. You may feel free to. You may feel free to roll human perception if you'd like.
Okay, I'm going to. Not me thinking, hey, I could just intimidate the crap out of this guy, but Ingrid would not. Oh. What was it? Human perception. So that's empathy 7. Human perception is 3. Yeah, it's 10 plus. Oh, that's a 10. 10 plus 10, 20 plus 23.
It's a difficult man to read. Hard to tell if he's taking you to heart.
He's difficult to read on a 23. God damn.
24.
Oh, my 1 point.
Your hex didn't work that time, Cersei.
Didn't do anything. Clearly.
Ingrid is going to put her hand on his shoulder. I'll remember that you told me that. She's gonna squeeze just tight a little slightly, not intimidating, not trying to intimidate, but definitely firmly, and she's gonna bring him close. Witchers do live long, and I will keep that trust in you.
He pulls in just as close and kind of wraps his arm around you, gives you a one-armed hug, and says, "To living long," and shakes your hand. "See you all very soon," and kind of wags it as he walks away.
I have a bad feeling about this. I think I made a mistake, Cersei.
Well, I wouldn't know. But what I do know is that secrets are usually secret.
Yes, if I try to sell anything more like that, stop me.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Let's go in.
Silver Heron charges for bath. It is a little bit more expensive. This will be 10. 10 for a cold each, which is about 2 crown, about the average. And it'll be 19 for a hot bath.
Yeah.
Each.
This is bougie.
This is bougie. Do we get cool preheated towels and shit like that? And
What an interesting question.
does it come with oils?
The scent, the bath does have a scent to it. It is quite nice. You can smell the aromas coming in from the other rooms and the incense that are mixing in with the lobby area, we'll call it.
Very
Cersei,
interesting.
a bougie woman will pay for 2 hot baths.
Oh, thank you. Ingrid is not going to say no to that. Especially for what she has in mind. Do you have a spare brush?
Of course I do.
May I?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
So, you pay for baths. Are you paying for a room? Or are you banking on being able to stay in Aratusa?
You could always come back and get a room.
Or sleep in the wagon.
Or sleep in the wagon.
Crash the wagon into Aratusa.
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Wagon.
Oh my god.
You
Grand Theft Redemption.
So what is the general consensus?
We're gonna wait. We're just gonna go take the bath now and then get cleaned up to go visit Aratusa.
Excellent. You get cleaned up. The scenes are yours. Paying for 2 separate baths. You, of course, have the option to pay for an attendant as well. Do you do this?
No. I need me time.
And indeed, I'd love to peek in to the me time for both of you.
That sounded unnecessarily dirty.
It did. I regret my word choice.
Mm.
What do you where are your minds at? Let's start with you, Ingrid. Where's your mind?
Cool. Ingrid's pretty blunt and to the point about what she wants to accomplish. I like to feel, at least. She was absolutely correct, and this is Cersei's hometown. This is, well, not hometown. This is but this is where she spent a lot of her youth. So, and her mentor's here. She's probably got some friends here and stuff like that. She doesn't want to embarrass Cersei, who is, as mentioned before, Ingrid's best friend. Uh, and yeah, so she is going to actually spend as much time as she can trying to get herself properly clean, smelling nice, and instead of just lazily wearing her hair back in a loose ponytail like she usually does, or a loose braid, she is going to spend extra time uh, cleaning her hair and using the borrowed brush to brush it till it's nice and probably the most shining and smooth it's been in a long time. And she's, honestly, I would say, while she's doing all this, she's trying her best to not think about what they had left behind, what they had just come from. She's trying to push it from her mind, knowing what it's done to her in the past when it comes to Sintra and Bearkeep. I would say, like, it's something that's been on her mind almost the entire trip. And trying her best to deal with it in a way that she's dealt with everything for the most part with this. Pushing it back.
Understood. You have some time to yourself, time to unwind, time to think. Privacy.
I would also like to spend a moment thinking about Nyoka and his last words, both vocal and written, to Ingrid. I feel like those have been haunting her even worse recently, feeling like she could have stopped something further.
Noted. Let me reflect on this. What about you, Cersei?
Cersei has a lot of Cersei has a lot of anxiety about going back for the first time in quite some time, not knowing um not knowing, like, if anything has changed, which probably it hasn't, but not knowing how she'll be welcomed, who's gonna be there. Um she's can't stop thinking about what happened to Vizima. Um and through all this anxiety, her mind always goes back to, I really wish that I had Elodie with me.
You have a moment of privacy. Time to yourselves.
If we're near, you probably hear fuck, God, ah, a few times as she's pulling knots out of her hair.
Walls are relatively thick, so you wouldn't have to worry too much. But
Oh, right, bougie place.
you both finish your baths.
Bathes.
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 You may redon your attire. Make your way past the lobby back to the carts, back to the wagons.
Percy is wearing something different than what she walked in with.
Very interesting. What do you don, Cersei?
She's wearing a black dress with a lace blouse. Like the blouse part is lace and see-through. The skirt reaches the floor, or right just above the floor. Long sleeves, and her makeup is more carefully in her normal style rather than the quick thing she was putting on before.
Noted.
Ingrid steps out, coupling around in her new armor a bit more, still trying to get used to the feel of it, the weight of it. But you do notice that this is the first time even ever that even from the party, because even at the party she still wore her hair up. That her hair is completely down now and brushed out, shining, smooth. She looks like she's paid extra attention to even clean around her eyes and try to get the tired look that's been there gone. She looks like she's getting ready for a noble appearance, like a Witcher meeting nobility, and it's very important to them. Yeah, her sword's already strapped to her back, very professionally.
The two of you make your way through the lobby. You can see there's a small crowd of 3 or 4 people surrounding other individuals seated at the bar. The individual they've surrounded has a snow white beard and snow white hair, receding hairline, and is Dwarven in heritage. You recognize, particularly, well, both of you would, the fabrics he wears are incredibly expensive, along with the gold chain that he has draped around his shoulders and his neck. Cersei, I believe you would recognize this individual as Molnar Giancardi, the owner of the Giancardi Bank.
As Cersei has walked out and met with Ingrid in probably the main, like I said, the main area. She kind of fiddle with the sleeves of her dress to make sure everything's tied together, and just casually say, "Oh, it's the owner of the bank over there."
Is that important?
Not,
Was that what was that?
I mean, not unless you want to talk to him.
It doesn't appear to be doing anything of grand note. In the northern kingdoms, there is a fair bit of prejudice that goes on, but he doesn't seem to be troubled by any of that. He seems to be an overweight, modest gentleman. With the individuals speaking with him are subtly trying to weasel some money out of him, it seems, or weasel an investment out of him.
Would you say that I've met him?
I would say perhaps in passing.
Okay, never mind then.
If since we've never really established on your backstory, feel free to roll a d10 We'll say your choice: odds or evens, or 1 through 5 and 6 through 10. We'll call it a 50-50 shot that you've established a name basis relationship.
I'll do odds.
Okay. Odds, you will have established a name-based relationship.
The one time I roll a 10.
Excellent.
Very cool.
The dice wanted to do you a favor, and they just didn't know what the roll was needing.
You have not had an extensive conversation with this individual, but you may have met them in passing, having been stationed here and with the first iteration of Fox and the Crow, the Fox's Jaunt. Absolutely, you would have definitely at least caught them at the bank.
Well, I have no business with him. I never had the pleasure of meeting him.
He seems like he is well off.
Oh, very.
I am. Yeah, that is all the. I don't have any need of him myself. I gave you. You are my bank right now. I trust you with the money. I don't trust strangers.
As we're walking by, can I listen in on what they're talking about?
You absolutely may. There appears to be just a few people around him that are. One is kind of regaling with their life story, about how life has been hard, the new war is already taking its toll. Um, Another is discussing a venture to be made um, across the continent and hoping to map out hidden areas. But the funding needed would be far too vast for most people to even take an interest. Um, yeah, it just seems to be different ways to try to get his interest in investment or to weasel some coin out of him.
Okay.
Truly, he has no real business being here. Um, this is a nicer tavern, but he just looks like he's kind of slumming it with the common folk.
Slumming it in the bougie place.
That's crazy.
That's money for you. Part of the 1%.
Truly.
I mean, no.
That's
I
why
can't.
no.
What were you saying?
I was gonna say that's definitely 100% why the Northern Realm, like he's doing so well in the Northern Realms, and nobody's messing with him. It's because of his freaking money. Money and power, man.
Well, I can't think of any reason to talk to him, so I'm just gonna keep
Yeah.
walking.
And I'm just following Cersei. This is her stomping grounds. This is her place. She knows it better than me. I'm taking it all in though. I'm listening and I'm looking around. No, I was gonna say she has a smile on her face, though she does not.
Understood. You guys make your way. You depart. Where to next?
I see Ingrid's gonna step up next to Cersei and say, I see no reason in delaying. How about you?
No, nope. We should make our way there.
I want you all to appreciate the fact that I said Cersei and my phone thought I said Siri.
He just wants to be the center of attention.
Apparently.
So, you make your way through Gorsvalen. It's a city, most like any other. It is a prominent city for trade, given being a port city. You make your way. You have no interest in the city. You're here for one purpose: The closer you get, Aratuza looms, seeming to blot out the sun as you move. The large central tower casts a shadow over Gorsveld.
Oh, that is intimidating.
In character?
Yeah. Oh, that's 100% in character. Ingrid is looking up at the building as we get closer and closer to it, and yeah, she's saying that is intimidating. Pretty, but intimidating.
They sure do. Well, you know what they say, mages sure do like their towers.
Why don't you have a tower?
No use for a tower.
I can think of many uses for a tower.
Maybe I'll have a tower one day. I can see it now.
One of those fancy towers that you can move with the dimensions and stuff like that. I've heard about that.
Originally... Oh, please.
Honestly, that sounds like a lot of work.
Pocket
Please
tower.
continue.
You move. The central building consisting of almost like a T shape. Originally, this Artusa was 5 floors and 76 rooms, having expanded quite a lot over the years. The long side of the main central hall has immensely tall stained glass windows depicting various scenes, changing from day to day would be incorrect, sometimes hour to hour, given the magics of this place. These windows, Cersei, would cost a small fortune, and they reach from almost the top columns that support the ceiling. The ceiling now reaches so high that it's difficult to make out the frescoes that decorate it. Apologies, English is hard.
Mm-hmm.
The columns are adorned with primarily nude figures as you make your way. But you make your way.
Ingrid's just taking it all in. She's kind of got a lot of the oohs and the ahs going on and stuff like that.
You can feel a push, both of you, especially Ingrid. Your medallion wiggles slightly as you pass over a stonework bridge.
Barrier?
Perhaps. Cersei, you would know.
What is it?
For me?
Because Luna sure doesn't know.
It is indeed a sort of magical barrier.
Ah.
But you make your way. Large double doors. Some sort of wood, perhaps petrified, looks very stone. They've changed them.
Question.
Yes.
Does my medallion ever stop vibrating the second we pass that bridge?
I would say there's a slight constant wiggle.
Well, this is interesting. She says she does like one of these towards Cersei, and it's just like...
Oh yeah, I should get used to that.
Terrifying. It means that I am slightly blinder to anything that might be dangerous. Oh, I guess that just means everything's dangerous. That's worrying.
It's called chaos.
The large double doors open. There is a single woman standing in the gallery, the entryway to Artusa. She is blonde, a bit thin, a bit mousy almost. But you would recognize this woman, Cersei, current headmistress or rectoress of Artusa, Margarita Loantil.
Have we parked the cart and begin walking on foot then?
If you so choose, yes.
Okay, cool. Cersei will walk a little in front, and
I assume Ingrid's just pretty much on glorified bodyguard duty.
Cersei will walk a little bit in front, and as she approaches the rectress, she will do a slight curtsy and say, Margarita, how much time has it been?
Far too long, dear. She extends her arms open in a gesture of a warm welcome. And she pulls you
Cersei
in
will,
for a hug. If you
well,
allow.
she will accept this hug.
She gives you a squeeze and says, whispers in your ear, welcome home. Who is this that you've brought to our door?
Ingrid is like standing as straight as possible. She is like trying to.
Of
She's almost
course.
like statuesque right now.
Margarita, it is my pleasure to introduce you to my friend, Ingrid of Sintra, Bear Witcher.
She will bow and she will say, "It is nice to meet you."
She is, Ingrid, for a note, you are incredibly tall.
Is 6 foot incredibly tall?
For female stature, absolutely.
Yeah.
As well, as well, for your knowledge, Margarita is also considered tall, on the taller side, a couple, maybe an inch, inch and a half taller than Cersei. But she addresses you. She pulls. She puts her hands from her sides over to grip yours, Ingrid, and kind of pulls you and kind of looks at you, looking up at you.
She's gonna allow it to happen, looking to Cersei once for a moment before looking towards this woman that's now crapping at her. Hi, hello. Yes.
She smiles and says, "Welcome to our Tuesday, dear." Cersei, you hear in your head via telepathy. This would be the second mage taken with a Witcher, dear. Careful, we're gonna get a reputation.
Oh, you don't have, no, it's not like that.
I love how it's already been a thing to enough to where it's assumed at this point.
Yeah.
You, she turns to you, Cersei, again and says, "To what do we owe the pleasure? Please come, walk. Would you like anything? Is there anything I can get you? A drink?"
I mean, I'm fine for right now, thank you.
Would you like to doff your armor, Madam Witcher?
I am comfortable in my armor, thank you. I think I will stay like this.
Understood. Well, at the very least, please come to my quarters, and we can speak privately and get you off your weary feet.
It is much appreciated, dear.
You walk. You walk through Artusa. These halls have stories, Cersei.
Mm-hmm.
I want to note that Ingrid is looking like a kid in a candy store, barely able to contain herself with a smile on her face as she's looking around at all the things.
Noted.
She is eating this up.
The candles are held in place by naught but air and magic. They light the halls more than they should, really. It's Every small tea candle is giving off the light source of a lantern. And as you pass along stonework and see the light of the sun refracted in stained glass window, the colors in this place seem so vibrant. It seems to dance across the stone and the halls in such a way that it creates music. With each step, you commit, you add to the chorus.
Ingrid's on the cusp of tears after hearing that.
You move. And through these halls, you see young women. It's lively here. They are escorted by their teachers. You can see a few people that you recognize there. See schoolmates that you've come with that have returned to be instructors, teachers, and mentors. They smile and give you a nod, showing nothing more than that in the eyes of their novices. Stray novices do occur once in a while. Margarita is quick to remind them that they are to be in their rooms or at their studies. Though, if you must wander to my quarters and bring us something to drink and something to eat. And they do. Ever devoted, ever loyal, they follow their orders.
Are they happy? Because Ingrid is looking at them like as each one passes by. What's like the demeanor of these kids?
Cersei, I'd like you to take some narrative control. You were once a novice here. Were you happy? Were you allowed to show anything but?
You were expected to keep your manners, which would include not showing signs of distress. So if ones that aren't smiling, probably pretty stone-faced.
Okay, cool. It's still not breaking the illusion for Ingrid then.
Excellent.
Ingrid thinks this place is amazing so far. She is just happy. She might even, as I would say, as we're passing by some of like the novice classrooms, Ingrid might be poking her head a little bit, just like as we're walking by. Like she's not saying anything in a moment because she's a little scared. Not scared, anxious. I would say in her own way, but like an excited way, in an almost overwhelmed way.
You, Margarita stops and says, I've just remembered, my quarters are... Well, they're not fit for guests quite yet. Let's take tea in the gallery. That'd be alright with you, dear?
That would be perfect.
Did you not just order one of the novices to bring stuff to your...
Indeed, and they will find it quite difficult to open without my presence.
Will they know where to bring it?
I'll be sure that they do, yes.
Okay.
You walk a shorter distance now to the Gallery of Glory.
That's a name.
A great painting hall in Aretusa. Artwork depicting major events of magic throughout history. There is a painting titled The Ship of Outcasts, which denotes Jan Becker's control over chaos. There is one of Agnes of Glanville. There's one of the Novigradian Union. Two of Rafford the White during their life. One, of course, of the original chapter that founded Aretusa. And one of Clara Larissa de Winter and the martyrdom of the sorcerer Radmir. In addition, some new entries have been placed. The tragedy of Aretuza and the coup of Thaned. Lest we forget.
Is that what it says in like a plaque under it?
Indeed.
Ingrid's gonna linger there on that one for a moment. What is she seeing on this painting?
Aretuza under siege. Fires. Lightning. Shattered stained glass.
Would I have heard anything about this? Would you say?
Have an education roll.
Oh goodness, that's a flat 0 for that. So it's just my intelligence, which is 7 plus 7 plus 2, so 9.
You likely would have heard something in passing about Aretuza being the site of something terrible during the Second Nilfgaardian War, but nothing more.
And how long ago was this? Can't remember. Based off of
The Second Nilfgaardian War was...
because they weren't that far apart from each other, if I remember correctly.
The second and third, yes. The first war was a bit further off. So let's check.
The fandom wiki.
Literally always.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. I have that like opened up right now. Like I have it on Margarita's page right now. She looks so sad.
Second Nilfgaardian War took place. Hello? War, please?
War, please.
War, please.
War, please.
Uh, 1267. 4 years ago.
Oh. And of course it would be dated that, and she'd kind of furrow her brow and then look to Cersei and say, I heard something had happened, but I did not know it was this big.
Oh. Yes, it was very tragic.
Were you here during this?
That's a great question.
That's a lore building question right there.
Were you?
Get to the Cersei deep lore. Bring up the presentation.
That was
Ingrid's going to. That was in character, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ingrid is going to nod her head a few times, and then she's going to say, "I am sorry." And there's a look of worry, concern, and a look of slight understanding in her eyes. And she's going to say, it seems that tragedy is never far off, is it?
no, but we are stronger for it.
She's going to go quiet after that.
Next to the picture of the painting of the Thaned coup is a portrait of a woman. Dark-haired, beautiful, and powerful in her demeanor. So you recognize her, and this is a painting that was placed after the events. The plaque is new, or the inscription under her name is new. Tisea de Vries. No one can have everything.
I think Cersei will linger at that painting and that plaque for a moment. and silently pay respects to the dearly departed.
Who was she?
Oh, my old headmistress.
She looks as terrifying as she is beautiful.
You would be correct.
Almost that stare almost reminds me of my bear school teachers.
Huh.
Mm.
Yeah, she would give your bear school teachers a run for their money.
Margarita lets her fingers brush against the frame of the painting, and she says, "And she likely did in her youth." But come, I do hope that you've come with happier tidings.
Oh, Rita, I wish I did.
Come, let's sit. She leads you to an area where there are comfortable leather chairs that allow you to slouch in. I think it's a bit difficult with armor, but
I'm trying.
You do your best.
She will obviously probably remove her swords at that point and place them next to her within grabbing distance of herself easily. They're not going to be far, but yeah, she's taking them off so she can more easily sit even in the armor.
You're sad. Eventually, the novices do find you. They bring forth tea. And Margarita looks and says, "Do you believe I asked for something small to quench the appetites of our guests?" Without a word, they give a nod and return to wherever they came from to correct their mistakes.
Are you always this harsh?
We value discipline here at Aratusa. Instruction is important. Adherence to guidance is incredibly important. You said something, Cersei.
Cersei takes a sip at that, and then when she's done, she'll... I don't think it's too dissimilar from your Witcher training.
That is very true. I'm starting to see the similarities. I don't know. I had it pictured in my mind that it was, I don't know, a lot more magical.
Classes can be a bit more, what would you say, dear? Flamboyant? Or ostentatious is likely a better word.
Ostentatious, yes.
Speaking of which, you'll never guess who's here. I know that you are here on your own business, but you're not our only guests, and so I would hazard you to keep your biases to yourself. We have some visitors. Istrid and Stregobor are waiting for my decree on some matter.
Cersei straightens. Oh.
Do I recognize those names?
Let's find out.
Is this another edumacation role?
I think it would be, yes.
Okay. It's just intelligence and plus 14.
14. Stregobor has made quite a name for himself. Istrid is more of an, even now, more of an up-and-comer. Still not, the Archmage. Stregobor, however, would set off some alarm bells. Was present during the tragedy at Blaviken, as well as known for his theories on a particular cosmological event called the Black Sun.
Do I know he's an asshole?
It's never explicitly stated in any history book by all now, so you may, of course, make your own assumptions. But
Well, to
he's
be
a
fair, anybody who believes that that astrological bullshit,
yeah, who
kind
believes
of a
in
dick.
star signs.
Yeah. Who would
Um,
do such a thing?
Putting princesses in towers and all that shit.
um, you would know that he's a mage of incredible renown and kind of recluse now, in his older age.
Stregobor, I've heard stories of um, quite interesting ones, if not strange. This Istrid, you said I do not recognize the name.
Uh, Cersei, would you like to exposit, or would you like Margarita? It's entirely up to you.
Cersei will just say, another wizard who trying to breach the archaeological field. Theories on chaos and the spheres and the like.
A historian of sorts, actually, yes.
Yes.
He's made some interesting findings, actually, as of late, but has a difficult time getting past Banard's regulations for his association with Aretusa.
Eastern I can stomach. However, how is old Stregobor these days?
Do I pick up on that animosity?
Cersei?
I don't know.
Do you want me to roll for it, Cersei? You want me to roll for it, bestie? Okay.
How golden retriever are you today?
Golden Retriever am I always? She's. I would say she's pretty kind of like still like she's still into everything and still kind of like ooh ah, but she's also really curious and wants to like she's
A sponge
really
for
as
absorbing everything at
yeah
this point. Makes sense.
exactly. Though I will say after the comparison to the Witcher school training and stuff like that, she's I would say part of her illusion's kind of broken. I won't go into details about why just yet,
In that
but
case, yeah, let's have a human perception, and then Cersei, you may feel free to roll uh, deceit if you'd like, or persuasion if you'd like to kind of just convince yourself and everyone else in the room that this is fine. Stragobor you're
Oh
fine.
yeah, this would be more for Rita's sake to not be impolite.
Mm-hmm. Then a deceit roll, I think.
23.
And I will roll for Rita.
Not my finest show. 16.
You do have luck if you'd like.
Are you gonna use your luck to lie to me?
I'm not concerned with lying to you.
Oh, that's fair.
Nah, 16.
Okay. Margarita doesn't seem to notice. She seems more taken by the armor and sort of not
Does she think I'm pretty?
not not taken by her own joke or anything, but not distanced from this conversation, but just she does seem like she's not picking up on the subtle things, seriously, which is not concerning but different. She's a little bit sharper than this usually.
Put a pin in my previous question. Margarita, are you okay?
Of course, dear. Like I said, unexpected guests and welcome on one hand. She gestures to you and Ingrid. A bit more reluctant on the others.
Mm.
Hence
Okay,
why
I'm
I'm willing to
sensing some
keep them
animosity
waiting.
here.
Oh,
The
no animosity.
Ingrid does say that.
Just, Banard has a history, and Aretusa is certainly part of that history.
Eh.
But that's enough gossip, I think. Please,
Hmm.
you came for a reason. You had something.
Well, truth be told, I'm sure you've heard about what's happened to Vizima.
I am. Tragic.
I
Have you
had
heard
no.
any news out of Bizima?
Not out directly, no.
Truth be told, we really didn't have anywhere else to go that felt safe. This was all I could think. And I feel terrible to bring this to your doorstep.
Ingrid's gonna do that because I assume I'm sitting like Ingrid and Cersei are sitting right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna do that high school thing that you do to friends when they're like trying to say something little. She's gonna like knee tap Cersei and almost gonna be like saying, "Do we tell her?"
Understood. Margarita nods and says, "Terrible what happened. Nothing directly out of the city, no. But as you know, the we have friends and allies everywhere. We're keeping politics is unfortunately a depending on who you ask an unwelcome side effect of our line of work.
Agreed.
So we're aware of the goings on of the world. You weren't caught up in that nastiness, were you?
There was a ball, a gala that we attended, and that was when Nilfgaard attacked.
I'm so sorry to hear that. I can see that you made it out in one piece, or
For the most part.
there's a look of realization in her eyes.
Ingrid's looking.
You had set up a business there.
I did.
Oh, darling, I'm so sorry.
Oh, it is what it is. But like I said, we had nowhere else to go. And however whatever usefulness I can provide in general, I'm happy to be at your mercy.
And I would say, as Cersei says that, Ingrid first like studies her for a moment, and then looks to Rita and says, "In that case, you shall also have my talents for whatever um, use they may be for you all."
That is much appreciated. Well, you are correct that you are safe here, Cersei, and that extends to you as well. There's there's no war here.
Hmm.
Aside from whatever struggle boar is brought to our doorstep, but I'm sure that we can handle it.
You always do.
Was
In this moment, novices bring in some what looks like tea cakes, coffee cakes, small light foods of sweets and small cut sandwiches.
Oh, thank you. I'll take some food.
Margarita pays them no mind as they set it onto the small round table between the three of you. They dismiss themselves, returning to their studies or to their rooms. Who's to say? But Margarita says, "We have space for you here, and I'm sure that Aurelia would love to see you. She's actually in for once."
Is she?
Yes, we have a meeting later today, but for now, well, the evening, I should say, her time is hers throughout the day. Difficult to say, at the very least. Someone. I don't mean to. I know that you two are quite close, and I don't mean to gossip any more than I should or cause any slander, but I feel like she's still adjusting to my new position, and it
Oh,
admittedly it is very strange for me as well. Someone so learned to be under my care, but she comes and goes as she pleases. She teaches what she likes.
as is her nature. I could talk to her. See what the issue may be.
Oh, I wouldn't have to ask you that of you, dear. There's no ill will between us. I don't think.
Mm.
Hope not. I would certainly hope not. But my point being, she is here. She's in.
Most excellent. I'd love to see her. Some point. How have classes been? How are the novices? This.
They're they're novices. They're
Mm.
learning. They are coming in with wide eyes and even larger hopes, dreams of, well, all the things we used to dream of.
Ah, yes, I remember. I remember when I
Ingrid,
had hope.
Ingrid's fidgeting a little bit.
I imagine
She's
they share a laugh between each other.
Indeed. Um, Margarita looks to you, Ingrid, and says, "Something wrong, dear? You may feel free to doff your armor at any point. I can have someone help you with it if you'd like."
um uh perhaps after all, especially if we will be staying. Um she looks like she really wants to say something but is not sure how to, other than okay, hold on. All right, I'm gonna do a personal roll really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Um Ramos, odds or evens?
Evens.
Okay, it is. Ingrid is just gonna blurt out, would it be possible for me to sit in on a novice lesson?
I
I'm curious.
I think that could be arranged. Um, we have classes going on now if you'd like, and I'm sure that the girls would enjoy your presence. It might break their concentration a bit, but an a welcome test for them. And
She's gonna look to Cersei first, almost like a child or a little sister looking for her approval.
I believe
Okay.
uh, I can send. Do you have any particular interests? We keep a great number of things private here, but anything that you might be interested in will help me narrow down who to send you to.
Uh, to be perfectly honest, I am not 100% sure. I do not know what would be considered private versus what would be considered basics, but anything seems interesting. I am curious of teaching methods and overall methodology and practicing a little. I don't. I This is also Azure not knowing what would be offered.
Well, Sabrina is giving a lesson on control, strict control, and
Sabrina's here.
she is, and she's as
Mm.
insufferable as ever.
I could imagine.
But she took up a permanent position here, so
Oh,
we're getting along swimmingly.
I'm sure.
But she is a master of her craft, so I can send you to her way, and you can sit on a lesson of control. Small things, but it might grant a little more insight. I understand that Witchers have a bit of flair for their chaos as well, just a bit.
Uh, yes, we have our signs, which are considered minor magics, but still magics. And I will admit that the learning the signs at the bear school always intrigued me more. And you can ask Cersei here that I've had a little bit of a curiosity for deepening my understanding of chaos. Um, I've looked through a small little helpful book.
Uh, there's a smile that crosses her lips. She says, I'll have someone bring you to your room. Actually, she waves a hand, speaks a few words, and there's now a sort of silverish trail that casts throughout the room and then links not to you, but trail, almost like an illumination
A
toward,
waypoint.
kind of an illumination trail to guide you to somewhere. Margarita expands and says, if you follow that space, you may find yourself first at your room, or if you follow the secondary point, it will take you to Sabrina's classes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And she
There's
stands up, grabs her swords, and gives a nod to Cersei and says, I will see you soon.
Have fun.
Thank you. She's going to follow it first to her room to get more comfortable.
You do this. The door closes behind you. You wander, following the trail. There are tapestries and paintings of all different things, of all different make. Even you find some Nilfgaardian tapestries along the way. There's a plethora of artwork, all from all across the continent, statues and stoneworks. The moment she has gone, Cersei, Sabrina relaxes in her chair a bit more. I'm sorry, Margarita relaxes in her chair a bit more. She says, strange company you keep, dear.
See how it is.
It was stranger. Had it for a time.
Do tell.
Oh, I made friends with not one, but two Witchers at the same time.
Two. That counts up to 5 that we know that are still operational.
Yes, well, one, it was almost 4 at that party.
My goodness.
As far as I know, he's alive. She's trying to keep a neutral face.
Yes.
Talking about Nyoko.
Triss did say that Vesemir would be making a full recovery.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
What are you here for, dear? Speak plainly. We're in private now.
Honestly, I didn't know where else to go. My home was completely destroyed. I know what Nilfgaard does to mages. I wasn't keen on experiencing it.
I can understand why. It wasn't a lie. You are always safe here. And Aurelia will certainly be happy to see that you're safe and sound. You may stay as long as you like. I'm afraid that if it's... Well, Aratus has never been warm. It's a place of learning, but you know that already, dear.
Of course.
So there won't be attendance, unless you wish to procure some of the novices, but politics are unfortunately finding themselves chaining themselves back to the walls. So we are getting roped into things once more.
How so? What's happening?
Nothing for you to concern yourself with, dear. Just war is always something that R2 is dragged into. If not as a whole, then individual sorceresses and the lines of nations can cause a fracture sometimes. As seen in, she gestures to the painting of the tragedy of the Thanat coup.
Yes. Well, not anything I'm not used to. If there's anything I could do to be helpful, I will gladly make myself useful.
That would be much appreciated. We will certainly find use for you if you plan to stay long term. Have to make you earn your room somehow. And as far as your friend, I'm curious. Will they be comfortable here?
Hard to say. Or how interested she is in magic. I can already tell she takes issue with how the girls are treated, how we were treated.
No. It's difficult to find anyone who understands what we went through. We were all, even you and I weren't in the same class, but I think there's a mutual understanding. I'd like to imagine.
There is.
I imagine we appear cruel to outsiders.
That's what they say. But they don't know.
It's home.
I'm sorry?
It's home.
It is home. That's why I came back.
Well, you're welcome to stay as long as you like.
Thank you.
And as for your friend, we'll make her stay as comfortable as possible. I'll keep you informed on things today, but how was Vecima? How was your shop before everything?
Vizima was also home. I think I finally found a place to settle. I thought I did. Shop was very lucrative. And I met some great people while I was there.
Simply lovely, dear. Very glad to hear it. The two of you, Margarita presses more and more, just seeing how you're doing and kind of getting the gossip of your life, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
She passes along her own. You gather that she doesn't leave Aratusa much except for her own business, but primarily she remains here. Novices apparently are getting more bold. They hear of Banard being able to wander their city and their town and kind of mingle, and so they get a bit jealous, and there have been efforts to take small boats out out from Aratusa and the small cavernways into the port of Gorsvalen and explore. No one has been successful yet, but there have been a surprising number of efforts made, even despite the punishments that soon follow. Margarita confesses that perhaps she thinks she's being too soft on them if there are this many attempts. Um, yeah, it's gossiping about essentially being a teacher and being in charge of a prestigious magical academy. Um, Different politics and like the kings and nobles that she's met and have come to pass and make contributions. Um, there are a few novices that you can tell she's not fond of, but their daddies have money,
Mm.
so even with their tentative grasp on chaos, they they're allowed to stay because of the funds that they've been able to gift to Aratuza.
Hmm. Seems the novices are giving you a run for your money.
There are. They're giving me something. They're giving me a fucking headache, more like. But they're progressing well, most of them anyway. It's hard to keep track of everything. You'll notice the new wards that were placed for protection
did.
around, and that when war wages, it's surprising that the only thing I need to worry about is the fucking students sneaking away. So I'll take it, I suppose.
Yes, it could be worse. Though, you have to admit, we at least wanted to sneak out.
Wanted but never acted. The intrusive thoughts never won, not once.
Nope, that's true, because what would Saya do? Oof, I never wanted to find out.
Oh, good lord. There were stories. There were so many stories about people that would try or had thought to try, and she'd quelled their efforts before they even started.
Yeah, she had a knack for me, I don't want to say crushing spirits, but
She crushing spirits, crushing hearts, crushing hopes. She was a strong woman.
right.
What's the phrase? Breaking something so that you can rebuild it.
The two of you sit together for a while and gossip. While, Ingrid, you make your way to your room. It is not a modest quarter. There is a connected door to another bedroom. It looks like these are staff quarters rather than student. There's a large bed. The layer of dust is swiftly dwindling. Even as you walk in now, it's as if it's being eviscerated from sight, from matter entirely. Self-cleaning rooms.
Where can I get that IRL? That Ingrid is looking around. She's still got that look of amazement about her as she's taking this all in. She's only heard stories about Aretuza before in the past, and I assume while she knows about several, mages and sorceresses and the like, the ones she's actually known are very few. So getting an actual firsthand experience of this, as you said, she's a sponge, and even though she is now even though she saw some of that similarities to her own training, in a way, I would say that rose tinted glasses, the grass is greener on the other side vibe for her still hasn't faded completely just yet, as she starts to kind of settle in. Her first initial thoughts are, um, this is probably bigger than the room that they gave the entirety of her her batch of young would-be witchers uh, in Heron Kaduk. So she's kind of impressed by that, and still eager to see more of the school as she takes off her swords, takes off her armor, carefully places it wherever seems to be the best spot for her to do that. in that room safely without it getting damaged or potentially stolen. Yeah, she's getting very comfortable. She's probably honestly just wearing like a plain, plain top with trousers and her boots. Yeah, not too dissimilar from what I'm wearing, to be perfectly honest.
Understood. You do this. You get comfortable. There is a privacy screen along with an empty bathtub made of what looks like bronze in order to keep the heat of a warm bath. But you have your quarters, you have your privacy, and you get comfortable.
I get comfortable, and the second that I am comfortable and ready to go, I just start power walking.
You make your way.
Hmm.
You walk quickly through the halls. Carpets and artwork changes as you walk. Not magically, just differentiation between different halls and different rooms.
Clever.
You're around the corner. I'd like a reflex roll from you, please.
Oh, thank God. Something I'm good at.
Dodge, if you kindly.
Reflex and dodge. Where's my dodge? Oh, dodge, there it is. 3. Okay, 3 plus 10, so that's 13 plus 20.
You narrowly miss an individual coming around the corner. He is balding, with this sort of dirty blonde, stringy hair, with dark robes and golden chains, and a heavy staff, what looks like a dark wood. You narrowly miss.
I'm so sorry.
He's just, my word. Don't you have studies to return to? Don't you have something to be doing, novice?
Technically, yes. Technically, no. I'm not a novice. She points to her medallion, which, of course, she's still keeping on.
How interesting. Letting you just run around their facility.
I asked. Yes.
How very interesting. How very interesting indeed. Who did you ask?
Margarita and my friend Cersei.
Cersei Aveline.
I'm sorry. I'm Ingrid. Ingrid of Sintra, and you are?
I am the Archmage Stregobor.
Ew. I didn't say that in character. I had a feeling, but I didn't want to assume the. I will say that she doesn't say that out loud, but she definitely takes a
Understood.
step back. She's just like, I have heard stories of you.
My reputation surely will precede me. Where is Margarita now?
Right this second, I do not know. I don't have a beacon on her.
My goodness, where did you leave her, girl?
Excuse me?
Where did you leave the headmistress?
I thought they taught manners here. She is down in the where do we leave her? That was the dining hall, right?
It was
Gallery.
the Gallery of
Gallery.
Glory.
The gallery. The Gallery of Glory.
You muted.
He scoffs audibly and steps away, muttering something. Ingrid.
I could have totally punched Stregobor in the face.
You could have.
I still could. I could trip him. I could trip him. I don't like how he called me girl. There's some icky vibes there.
Yeah, most women don't enjoy that. You. What do you do next, Ingrid?
I'm watching that old codger leave for a second. He's just walking away, right?
With purpose, yes.
Fingers reflex. He really wants to cast Ard right now. What's near him? Like, as he's walking away, is there anything near him?
Paintings, tapestries, the rug.
Let me look at Ard really quick.
Okay,
I'm sure this will go swimmingly.
I'm here for it.
As I'm walking away down the hall, I'm going to cast Ard at the wall next to him. So telekinetically to trying to angle it so that I'm telekinetically pushing a painting or whatever is in there, like statue or chair or whatever's just at that point, into his path.
Kindly detail Ard.
Shoots a wave of telekinetic force, staggering creatures with a 10% chance of those affected being knocked prone. The percentage raises 10% for each point of stamina spent. I'm technically using this on a non-creature, so does the stamina matter?
Yes.
Oh, stamina's gonna matter. Okay, I'm going to pump 5 points of stamina into this. Or no, I can only pump 3 because vigor.
Understood. So,
Are you okay, Luna? You...
I can only imagine how this will go.
I see. Okay, I did not take kindly, and Ingrid did not take kindly to that mannerism.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's what Cersei warned you. Mentally prepare for it.
oh, you did. You did.
excellent, excellent, excellent. You do this. You knock a painting free. Something small, something less important. So less important that it's just in a hallway, not in the Gallery of Glory. It is ready to collide with Stregobor, who quickly sidesteps. And then using his staff, you see a quick glow, and it bursts, shattering, casting splinters and shredded fabric onto the ground. And he looks back to you.
I'm already no. I like I said. I'm like going and walking on. Like that's what I was doing. I'm like I'm not even waiting to see what happens. I'm just like okay, fuck her. And then why'd I say it like a valley girl there?
Understood. You do this. Unaware of the repercussions of your actions, you move onward to Sabrina's classes. We see,
out of character, fuck Stregobor. In case you don't know who Stregobor is, fuck Stregobor.
We see you join a class, Ingrid. Someone is lecturing deep down into a descending row of students. There's a pit where they are instructing, giving words of encouragement. Focus. Feel the power. Don't let it consume you. Don't let it flow and hold. Let it simply pass. There appears to be a number of stones in each one of the students. Collection of stones. And they are what looks like regrowing or casting away something. Moss is growing and then receding from the stones.
Ingrid is walking in quiet, or attempting to be quiet, not wanting to distract, as she listens into this is Sabrina, right?
The woman that you see before you is... did I mess this up? I did.
Sabrina Glevisig. Or how do you pronounce that? How are you supposed to pronounce that?
Just like that.
Glevisig.
Has deep red hair, pale skin, a very revealing dress. Shows a lot of cleavage. Cleavage.
Cleavage.
That is the dress itself is striped red and gray on the bosom, as well as a deep red color matching the hair. That sort of cuts off just above the ankle. There's a white frock underneath you can see.
Very beautiful.
You can see that you are not the only observer in this class. There is a gentleman watching with a small smile on his face. He is not exactly taking notes or anything, but just arms crossed, watching some of the students, and then just letting his eyes drift around the room. As you enter, he lets his eyes drift over to you, and his eyes linger on you, Ingrid.
She's going to give one of these.
Gives you a smile and a nod. He wears a maroon, perhaps off purple, vest with a white shirt. Perhaps not white, perhaps sort of subtle purple white. There's a word for that. There's a color for that.
Lavender.
Thank
That's
you.
pastel.
Thank you. Ew.
You're welcome.
A lavender shirt underneath the purple vest.
That makes more sense to my brain. I didn't understand what you're trying to explain.
Thank you. Colors are hard. Brown hair with a brown beard. Slightly aged face. Must be, depending on if the enchantments have taken hold, if he is a sorcerer, this is, must be within his 30s, 40s.
Ingrid will move to position herself close to the other observer, then, since she doesn't want to distract too much from Sabrina's teachings while she's taking this in, and watching how the students participate in this.
Great seances. Artuz doesn't usually get many witchers.
Oh. Hello, I am Ingrid. I came here with a friend of mine, and it's my first time here. It is quite intriguing. She cannot keep her eyes off what the students are doing and what Sabrina's teaching. Like, she's speaking to him, but she's kind of like, it's kind of like one of those ones where it's like you're speaking very quietly during class and you're trying to let the teacher not notice that you're not paying,
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I realize I kind of just went on a tangent there.
He nods and says, "No, it's understandable. You said you came with a friend."
Oh, yes, I am friends with Circe Aveline. Casually dropping her name everywhere I go.
He smiles and says, "I've heard of her. I've heard of you as well."
Oh, I hope good things. I'm sorry, who are you?
Apologies, Istrid.
Oh, very much pleasure to meet you. She offers to shake his hand.
He takes your hand, doesn't shake it, but just gives it a light squeeze. And says, I hope it wouldn't be foolish to think that you've maybe heard of me as well.
Oh no.
Oof, that's rough.
I am sorry to say that I've only heard about you recently, as in today, recently.
Not just now, though, have you? It was before this conversation.
Oh, yes. actually. I overheard um, Margarita mentioning that you and that wiry old man were here. Sorry, I ran into that Stregobor while I was
Hmm.
coming here. He
Well,
is mean.
I'll being tied to him, but having at least a bit of time pass before this meeting where you've heard of me, I think I'll count it as a half win.
She gives him a little smile. He's kind of charming.
Are you
That's
here
his
just
for
to
you.
audit, or
Admittedly, I've always had a little bit of a fascination with the magics for chaos. They teach us basic signs in uh, the schools for witchers that we were raised in, but nothing further, even if we have the talent
yes,
for
I've
it.
seen, I've seen. Well, I've been on the business end of some of your works. You shouldn't feel intimidated or ashamed at all. There's a great many deal of things you can do with these type of spells. Guests will be silent or asked to leave.
Ingrid
Sabrina
does one of these. Just
looks up at Istrid with a strange smile, and then looks to you, Ingrid. Lest distractions take hold, young ones. She looks to the rest and says, "You must keep your focus. You never know what is going on around you, but you have greater things at your disposal that must keep your concentration."
Ingrid pulls out her little journal, her little leather-bound journal, and a little bit of a pen and ink, and just starts going, just
Uh,
taking notes.
Istrid sort of chuckles and continues to watch for the rest of the lesson in silence. We rejoin Cersei.
As Cersei will say to Margarita, I sure hope that Sabrina doesn't eat Ingrid alive.
She's gotten more relaxed in her old age, I think.
Oh, that's
Hopefully.
good.
I don't know, I've heard stories of. She might. Who knows?
It'll be good exposure therapy.
I would hope that a Witcher could handle a single mage.
You would hope.
You do you not have faith in Ingrid?
I didn't say that.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm.
your conversations continue, and then suddenly the door bursts open. Margarita rises defensively. Cersei, there's an instinct that kicks in here that you recognize. To say I had the same instinct, as does Aurelia. She goes into a protective stance, ready to. She stands in front of you, and in walks a man with dirty blonde hair, stringy, receding hairline, dark robes, and heavy gold chains with heavy gold rings on his finger, and a dark wood staff. Walks in like he owns the place.
Uh-huh.
Steps as he walks. He says, "I'll be damned if I ever said I missed Saya, but she at the very least knew manners not to keep a fellow mage waiting." Margarita looks to him and says, "Well, God rest her soul. God's rest her soul. But you're dealing with me now, Stregobor, and you're on my time frame, in my school. So when I ask you to wait in the lobby, you will do so." You can see Stregobor looks at her and says, "I think I've waited long enough. I need answers, Margarita. And your schoolroom gossip, I think, can wait." His eyes rest on you, Cersei.
At this point, Cersei will rise. She did not stand.
Understood.
She'll stand up. Straggleboard.
Aveline.
There's nothing else. Just
Was that your pet in the hallway, I take it?
pet's certainly a word that I wouldn't use. Yes, I was a witcher. Interested in sitting in on a class. I don't think that's too big of an issue.
Sitting in on a class as if they could master anything more than the simplest of signs. And Margarita, you to encourage her. Shame on you.
I'm gonna kill this man.
Margarita looks and says, "Now who's gossiping, Stregobor?" You can see a twitch in his lips underneath the beard. He's aged, Cersei. There's gray now in his beard. There, even with the enchantments and the changes, he's aging now more clearly and physically. You also notice give me a human perception roll, Cersei.
You're gonna do great. Also, Jesus Christ, your Stregobor is on point.
I don't like playing him. He's gross and icky.
He is very. my visceral ew reaction.
Feel
Oh,
gross.
man.
I should have totally had Ingrid say that. Just ew.
Human perception. I'm gonna put you know what? No, I'm not gonna put any luck into this. 8 plus 5, 13. Not too great. That's a 15.
15 is what you needed.
Ah, wow.
Cersei, he's a mage. He's a very well renowned mage. He is long since past his prime, but he is well respected in certain circles, and he's never just had his staff on him unless it was going to be used. But he walked in with it, and the way he walked in with it was interesting. A mage ready to wield their staff will hold it at their side or step with it and kind of hold it aloft until they're ready to set it down once more. No, he walked with it in his right hand and stepped. With every step he took on his right leg, the staff clinked to the ground. He's using it as a cane.
The future's now, old man.
So it's interesting to either see he's either aged to the point where he needs this or has suffered an injury that is now lingering.
Actually, curiosity, how old is Stregobor at this point?
Old ass man.
Ridiculously old. But Margarita looks at him and says, "I have business to attend to here. If you would kindly grant me just a few more minutes, I'm sure I can get to whatever requests or services you require very shortly, Stregobor." You can see him cast his eyes between you, Cersei, and then Margarita. And he says, "I expect to see you very shortly, Margarita. there's a great many deal things that are happening on this continent, and they all require your attention, none more than what I have to offer you now.
Could I attempt to read if he's just being his normal self or if there's a reason for this urgency? Like in his face and his
You
voice.
absolutely may. We're gonna call this. Let's say, I would say human perception. I can hear an argument for anything else if you have another method to get about this as well. If you choose to speak, you may use persuasion and sort of kind of weasel things out. Deceit is also an option if you do that something as well, but entirely up to you.
I'll just use human perception. I'm just trying to get a read on him.
Understood.
While she's doing that, I have a fun fact for everybody. Stregobor is, as of this moment, almost 490.
Old ass man.
He was born in the year 786.
Jesus. Maths is hard.
Was that on Fandom?
No, I googled it.
Jesus.
According to Netflix, Stregobor was born in 786, which makes him 445 during the hunt for Renfrey and Blaviken in 1231.
I will have to fact check that. I no longer trust Netflix with anything, but good to know. That's a ballpark.
That's fair. I
at the
still
very
haven't
least.
watched. I still haven't watched much the new season. I'm catching back up because I don't want to accidentally forget things like I do.
No worries.
I've
22.
heard mixed results.
22. There is a reason for his urgency. It's not. It doesn't seem to be. He seems more agitated than usual. Normally, he'd have a little bit more decorum, and his more distasteful qualities would be very muted or more subtle. But he's something's bothering him. Something's eating at him.
Interesting.
But he turns now, with a flourish, with the robes, and begins to march out. Margarita
He's so dramatic.
doesn't let her eyes drift away until the doors close behind him, and then she shakes her head. You can see the eye roll she gives is just finishing as she turns back to face you, Cersei, and says, I'll keep him waiting for a bit longer, but I do need to attend to whatever the hell he's brought to my doorstep.
He seems more agitated
My God, he's...
than usual.
I hate to say, but he has a reason for it, actually, but... It's not a concern. It's not a concern.
Well, be that as it may. If you need, I wasn't always one for politics, but I'm always willing to lend an ear or an opinion if need be.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Please tell me the tea. I'm so fucking nosy.
Luna's got to know everything. This is not a Cersei thing. This is a Luna thing.
I have to. Oh, it's ass. It's ass. Luck. 3 luck.
Understood.
18.
18. There may be something that you can help us with. Let me deal with him first, and then we can speak.
Of course.
Did Cersei notice any splinters on it?
Haven't walked over there yet.
We'll talk. But Aurelia would love to see you. I will attend to our other guests.
Of course.
It was
Think I'll
lovely to
find
see
her.
you.
It was lovely, as always, to see you again. Thank you for your hospitality.
Oh, dear, no. This is your home. And again, you're welcome to stay as long as you like. It'll be nice to have you around again.
Appreciate it.
She turns, departs, leaving you alone, Cersei, in the Gallery of Glory, surrounded by key events of magical history. Who's to say when another painting might be added to these walls? And that is where we'll end tonight's session. Thank you for playing.
Thank you for running it.
It was a lot of fun. Yes, thank you.
That was good.
Well done, everyone. We are gonna do some promo stuff, so let's kick it off. I will get the shout out stuff ready. Let's kick it off with Cersei.
Oh, hello. Hi. I'm Luna, or Druid by Night. I stream at Druid by Night Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then I stream Akahena Gaming on Tuesdays. You could find me at Druid by Night on Twitter and TikTok and Twitch, of course. And I've been Cersei.
Excellent, indeed you have. Ingrid.
Hello, everybody. I am the Azure Butterfly, or Azure for short, simply Rachel. Faye Butterfly on the internet. You can find me over at theazurebutterfly.atv or on social media at theazurebutter1 on the various medias. Yeah, I am Ingrid of Sintra, the Bear Witcher.
Indeed.
And apparently, according to Stregobor, a novice. And ugh.
Excellent. We, of course, have been the Rolling Nomads. We thank you guys for watching and thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you very much for sticking around for the story. And we, of course, can be found right here at twitch.tv/rollingnomads. As well, you can find us over on Twitter. I refuse to call it X. I'm not doing that. We're on Twitter until the ship finally fully sinks. And it's at least
Looking like
capsized
soon.
currently. But I refuse to learn another social media site until that day comes. But we are on Threads as well, as at underscore Rolling Nomads, just like Twitter. But Twitter is the best way to get to date with our scheduling, our late starts, our when we go live, all that good stuff. Stay tuned. There's gonna be some weird changes to Rolling Nomads. Not incredibly terrible for scheduling or anything like that, but there's gonna be some new programming popping up. The best way to keep up to date is with Twitter, as well as some internal organization that will be going on. So it'll be good. As well, you can find these episodes over on YouTube, youtube.com/rollingnomads. And that's us in a handbasket. Me, myself, I'm Gilbert Ramos. I've been your game master. We did mention Trinity Continuum Igus is live on BackerKit, and I'll throw that link in the chat. It is currently fully funded. They've gotten some pretty great stretch goals unlocked. We're only about 3.5k away to our newest stretch goal, which is an in-world atlas for Trinity Continuum. This game is set in the Greek Iron Age, and will add more than just the Greeks Iron Age. We'll add more locations, more gadgets and things, more weaponry, all that good stuff. It's got 10 days left, and we would love it. I would personally love it if you went and go check it out. I wrote on that book. I'm very excited to see something in physical print with my name on it. That's gonna be interesting. Yeah. That's us in a handbasket. Stick around. We are gonna raid somebody. Who's to say who we're gonna raid? Who's to say? We'll have to look. But stick around. We're gonna spread the love after this, and see. We'll do some more things. Anyone else got anything before we dip?
I'm still working on the website for Witcher Ways of Old. Trying to get more stuff placed on that. I have some cool ideas that I need to get running on that. But yeah, just wanted to throw that out there.
Excellent. Then we will. Sorry, did you have something?
I very much enjoyed getting under Scragabor's skin. Nothing brings me more joy. I'm
Okay.
so happy to have that privilege tonight.
Well,
Do we want to change the timeline and kill him?
oh my gosh. The there will be plenty of opportunities for these decisions and more. Tune in next time to see if Struggleboard gets murdered in his sleep. But we will see you next time, same place, same heroes. We'll see you then.